One more. Oh yeah, okay. That's it. Ready? That was terrific. We have Pickles here today. Pickles is 12 years old, and her owners are friends of mine. And Pickles is a Brussels Griffon and a Shih Tzu kind of combo, and she likes treats. And at the age of 12, she's a little slower moving around, as could be expected with a senior dog. A little more slow coming up and down steps, right? Or joining in family fun. And you guys have 2 young kids, so I'm sure they want to play with her all the time.
Yeah, they pull on her fur and are general disruptors. But she also eats all the food that they drop.
So it's a
symbiotic relationship.
They drop food and she eats.
Yeah.
So right away I feel a lot of muscle tension on the bottom left part of her neck, but I want to start higher than that and look at the atlas. And she has a little tiny atlas, and the atlas is the top bone. And where it sits under the skull, we check for a little forward flexion and extension. So extension is nice. Look, I'm looking at it upside down. So let me first ask you, you can look at me one more time this way. Can I work on you today? What do you think about that? Can I do a little work with you? All right. Yeah. All right. Now let's go forward, because extension wasn't bad, but forward flexion looks a little tight. Look, I'm getting licks for going that direction. But she's a little more hesitant going down. So flexing down, and that means what I'm feeling is her atlas is bilaterally superior, and it means the front part or front aspect of the atlas, there's a little bump called the anterior tubercle, and hers is a little up. So I want to bring it down. So it's a little bilateral flick on the wings of the atlas, and I just got it. Now let's see if she takes her head down. And it comes all the way down. So her nose comes all the way to the sternum now. And we're also gonna check, she also has a left superior atlas. Here, look up at me for a second. And the wings of the atlas have these 2 little bumps coming out to the side, which are the transverse processes. But the left one is a little high against the occiput, or the base of the skull. So I'm just gonna pull that one down, and I get my little fingertip under it, and I pull. And that one wouldn't make a click, but she might lick her lips or yawn from that one. Or maybe she's doing that because her dad has a little treat in his hand. But now remember, I said she has a lower left muscle spasm on the lower left part of her cervicals around C5, and I'm just gonna rub that for a minute. So I'm gonna hold that while I work her head back and forth, and just holding that. Now I'm gonna laterally flex left and hold that muscle nap. And I'm putting about the same pressure that if I was pushing a grape with my fingertip down on a kitchen counter and not breaking the grape, but is dimpling it as much as I possibly could without cracking the grape. That's how much pressure I'm putting in here. And that's a good amount of pressure to help this muscle knot relieve. And I'm right in the epicenter of that knot, or the trigger point. And it's almost gone. And I'm gonna do a little adjustment at the end. Got it. That one made a little click. So she's fine there. And I'm gonna come down the back now. Now I'm at the base of the neck. Dogs have 7 cervicals, humans have 7 cervicals. Interesting is giraffes have 7 cervicals. So, a lot of species have 7 cervical bones in the neck, but the height of the bones makes the difference of why a giraffe's neck is so long, and my neck is just a few inches long, and hers is even smaller. Now, humans have 12 thoracic bones, they have 13. We have 5 lumbars, they have 7. But as I come down, and I'm kind of in that withers area, T3 through T8, which is what we call it on a horse, but I like calling it on a dog too, because it's kind of that area just before the saddle. So on a horse, T3 through T8 is that high spot. Then it concaves out a little bit, and that's where the saddle would go. So we're not gonna put a saddle on you today, Pickles, but we're just gonna keep working. Let me put you in my arms for a second, and I'm gonna come down here now. And T3 through T8, and now I'm at T9. And the vertebrae change angles at this point, so I change my angle to go with it. And I'm coming down T10, 11, T12, thanks. T12 has a little bit of a restriction, so I'm gonna adjust into that. I'm gonna support under the belly, and got that one. So T13, now we're at the thoracolumbar junction. We're at the beginning of L1, L2, getting a little tighter, L3, that's uncomfortable for her, not for me. So we're gonna pop a little treat in there as long as we got treats flying. And I'm gonna adjust at L3 right now. Got it. 4 feels good, 5, 6, 7 is stuck. Got it. So we get a little cookie for that, a little treat, a little biscuit. And now my hand's underneath supporting the belly, and I'm gonna go back again to L7. And here's the sacrum. So my fingers are just between the tuber sacralis, which is the high point of the iliums, and in between is the sacrum. And I'm pushing in, and I'm just palpating and getting some motion in there. And this is a tender spot, so I'm gonna adjust this one more time. And now I'm at the base of the tail, the sacral apex, where think of these sacrum as like an isosceles triangle. The base is at the top. It comes down to a pointy tip of the triangle, and that's where the tail starts. So now I'm gonna touch the tail. She does have a full tail. She's not a docked breed. Do they ever dock the breed?
Griffin sometimes.
Yeah, Griffin's the Griffin half of it. So now I'm working on the tail. I'm going back and forth, feeling the motion left and right, and extending. She's got a little knobby spot here halfway down her tail. That could be an old injury, but we're not gonna change that. I'm just lengthening. Now I'm gonna bring her back leg back into, which your wife will really like this. His wife dances in the ballet, and we call this an arabesque. So we're gonna do an arabesque on the left, on the right, a doggy arabesque. And so if Lauren gets to watch this, just know that we did a doggy arabesque. And then we're gonna bring the left one back, back, back. Beautiful arabesque, beautiful. And let's do the right side one more time, because I think the right side was a little slower or a little less mobile. Yeah, so I'm gonna rub out this hip a little bit. So that right back hip is not completing that back extension as smoothly as I'd like to see it. So I found,
she likes that.
Yeah, so I found a spot, and she's kind of letting me have that spot. And notice nobody's handing me treats, okay? I could use a little treat about now. I'm doing the work and you're getting all the treats. Okay, and I'm working that little doggy gluteal spot. So I'm on the glute. Let's recheck the arabesque again. All right, so bring that leg back. Nice, beautiful. Everybody say congratulations if you're watching this, that she just did a beautiful arabesque. Now I'm gonna bring that front leg forward and check extension of the front arm, checking the little phalanges, the little toes, each little joint, bringing the legs forward. And you have to be careful with little dogs or hypermobile patellas. So that can happen on little dogs. And if that ever happens to your dog, you don't want them to jump up so much. So even though they're little, you discourage them from jumping up if their knees seem to dislocate. I just felt a little pop there at the humerus, because her humerus was a little misaligned. And that's why she's breathing heavy, because I just set her upper arm bone. I'm gonna check the rib cage next, and coming through the ribs, coming through the belly. I'm looking through some of the muscles, like here's the iliopsoas, and I'm gonna just rub that on you for a second. And then I'm gonna get the other side, feeling the internal hip flexors, and that one's a little more sensitive. See, this side makes her stop, this side brings it on, the extra panting, because this side's tender. So let me hold it until it goes away. We should all take a breath now. One more. Breathe with me, sweetie. And now I want to see if you shake it out, okay? So just move around a little bit. Maybe no shake. Sometimes dogs will shake it out. And I think we're gonna end there. So we had a good little visit with her. We checked everything. She had a few misalignments. And let's do one more pirouette with paying homage to the ballet. So do we have any cookies left? So we're gonna do one more little pirouette. Beautiful pirouette. And fantastic. Thanks everybody. Leave Pickles a comment. If you enjoy her dance moves, let us know. And we just did a little tune-up, that's all. Just for doggy wellness. Thanks for watching. So listen everyone, Pickles is really into social media. She has her own Instagram, OMG, you can see it right there, __ Pickles. Please follow her because she really gets excited when she gets new followers. And you know, what can I say except OMG __ Pickles. All right, thanks for connecting to Pickles. And let's keep moving.
One more.